Hello, sinners. It is I, Father Evil, and I invite you to Destination Station on YouTube.
Bagels and go to Destination Station. This buddy is the bomb.
Yep.
Love him.
Yep.
Fucking A.
Yep.
I had to say that for a reason.
Freddie, take that, motherfucker.
All right. Okay. Fuck you. Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy. Subscribe to my man, Destination Station right now if you want the best content.
What's up? Welcome to Destination Station. As always, I'm Destin. Thank you for clicking on this video. Subscribe to Destination Station if you want Scream, Halloween, and everything in between. And that even includes I Know What You Did Last Summer, because that's right down my alley. I am so excited to see this movie, and that's why we're going to break it down here today. And I'm probably going to point out some things that you probably missed in the trailer. We have had two trailers, and I'm going to refer back to both of them and kind of piece this stuff together that we might have missed on our first viewing, but maybe it opens up your eyes a little bit, and maybe we can actually figure out who the killer is, if you want to know that. Now, take this with a grain of salt. It doesn't confirm, but it could be possible spoilers. So you have been warned. If you don't even want to theorize or know anything about this, I would highly suggest come back and watch this after you see the movie when it comes out on July 18th. But please hit that like button before you leave, and hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this, because we're updating horror movies every single day. This is your jam. This is where you need to be.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
And let's get into this, because I am so excited for I Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay, I'm going to kind of go backwards here. We're going to start with trailer 2, because it kind of gives away a lot of what the first trailer had. There are a couple of differences, but I'm going to point those out later on in this video. But the second one is a much more enjoyable and atmospheric and tone-wise trailer that I think we got between the two. So I do want to start off with trailer number 2. It starts off like right here. It looks like we're at an engagement party is what it looks like, and we got our main cast, and this is showing, you know, kind of like the vibe, like even like the soundtrack, like you even see like all of them together, everyone's happy again, and it looks like one of the characters has gotten engaged, and we'll get into that a little bit later as well. So this is 1 year after the accident that actually takes place. So I wonder if they're going to start with like the accident as like a flashback, or are we going to get like a traditional I Know What You Did Last Summer and have the opening to where we see the accident. I hope they take that route in this movie, but we'll see. But the tone here, I want you to, you know, like the music score and everything. If you ever seen that movie Do Revenge, it's the same. I think we're going to get more of a tone of something like that, because the director directed that. It's on Netflix, and it was supposed to have one of the main leads from that movie into this as well, and it also had Sarah Michelle Gellar. So we're going to get into Sarah Michelle Gellar, Helen Shivers' character, a little bit in this too. But just think about the tone here. Like I think we're gonna have a more upbeat and fun movie. Even the director said that, you know, it's not to be taken too seriously. So I think it's gonna be more of that 90s fun, nostalgic here, which I'm excited for. So right here, Madeline Klein's character opens up one of the cards that she gets at this engagement party. It says, I know what you did last summer, and then it flashes back to the accident of last summer. So I don't know if it's going to play in that sort of fashion, or if we're already going to know what they did last summer. But it's building it up like Madeline Klein's character is our main lead. But I think it's a switcheroo here, you know. I think that Madeline Klein's character is going to be more like the Helen Shivers character in this, and I'm going to show you why here later on. But it does seem like the accident takes place. But, you know, if you watch both trailers, it looks like there's two cars. It looks like they got like their vehicle. I think it's a Jeep. And it looks like they're either broke down on the side of the road, or like they're looking for help, or maybe they're doing a prank, because they're right there in the curve of this area. And it almost looks almost identical of where the last accident happened back in the original with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr., which I'm kind of weird how they're going to actually play this off, but it looks like an accident that happens because you almost see one of the characters get hit, Teddy. It's like he jumps out the way real quick. So with this being right at the same area, it looks like, if it is, that's going to be kind of odd that if it takes place in the exact same location where the original left off, or if this is a totally different road, just looks similar. But are they broke down here, or are they trying to play a prank, or what? I don't really know what's going on here, but it looks like 2 other cars are involved. Like another car comes from the, like 2 different cars come by, like a truck and another car. If you look at both trailers, it does show that. And it looks like Teddy jumps out the way just in time. So I'm wondering, are they trying to play a prank or something like that? Like that maybe they know that a friend's on their way or something, and they're gonna, and maybe that friend has like a fear of this, what do you call it? Like the massacre in this town or whatever from the fishermen. And maybe they're like, oh, we're going to scare him at that location, because this is the only way in and the only way out. Maybe they're doing a prank, Maybe it's kind of like that urban legend thing, like they're going to play. And I think they're going to take a lot from urban legend as well, because I'm going to get into that as well. If you ever seen that, great movie. I hope they're bringing that back. There is speculation that it will be taken like a slasher route, and I hope that's the way they do it, like the original.
He wasn't decapitated. He was gutted with a hook. That's the way I heard it.
And after the wreck, you see all the characters. They're all kind of like upset, looking at each other, similar like the first movie. And then it flashes back to the engagement party. And some of these characters, if you slow it down enough, you see one of them really upset. And right here, I want to pause this right here. Where they're back at this engagement party, and you see the one character. The one character right here that's kind of like the oddball out of it, because in the original it was 4 people in the car, and this one it's 5. So it's like, is that 5th person really the killer, And right here with Stevie's character, she just catches my eye, because I'm like, in a lot of these shots, it seems like there's more to her, and she does give some killer vibes here. And if you look around her neck right here, she's wearing a like ring around her necklace, like an engagement ring or something sentimental, and you don't see that at the wreckage when a year before. So I'm thinking that possibly she could be our killer. We don't have a fisherman, we have a fisherwoman here, which is fine, or we could have 2 killers as well working together. But they're all trying to figure this out, and then you get like the whole lovey-dovey thing, and you got the fiance here while his girlfriend goes up to take a bath, and we saw this in the original trailer, and it looks like it's kind of like an homage to Scream a little bit, almost with like that Stephen Orth kill and Casey Becker, and it looks really gnarly. It looks really cool. I like that the fisherman or fisherwoman's using other arsenal than just a hook, and there's going to be more weapons that they use, not just a hook as well, and I'm going to point that out as well here. It looks like he's just there for some filler to get the movie started right after they get the letter, which I'm cool with that. He's the new guy about the group, and he gets killed. So I find it kind of odd that new Helen Shivers character, I guess you would say Madeline Klein's character that I think it is, it's getting engaged, getting married a year after this accident took place. And that goes back to Stevie's engagement ring around her neck. Like, maybe they accidentally killed her fiance or boyfriend or somebody that they were going to get married to. And maybe now this is the tagline is karma is a killer. And maybe that's their karma, is like, you killed my fiance, so now I'm killing all of you, and I'm killing your fiance. And maybe that's the whole motive behind this one. It could be a little bit more deeper than that, but even like the fisherman's build underneath the slicker is a female build. And let's point this out real quick too. I love the shot. It looks like something is covering the face. It doesn't look like it's just going to be faded out or just showing the chin like they did in the original. But it does have like a female build, but the hook looks meaner. It looks bigger and meaner, and it looks almost like a Candyman hook. There's a lot of shots. I'm like, dang, I hope they really do make some like really cool, like gory, gory kills. Like, we get some really good unique kills and not just slashes and just it goes away, because the first movie was not very violent. The second movie was a lot more violent, and the fisherman used other arsenal as well. I do like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I think they're both great in my opinion. But this one, it seems like that the fisherman or fisherwoman's doing something a little bit more unique with the arsenal, and I like that. I like that. Later on in the trailer, you'll see that it looks like they're using a knife, but then it looks like they go for guidance to Ray's bar. It's just called Ray's Bar, and that's where we get Freddie Prinze Jr. And it looks like the whole entire squad is there looking for guidance. But if you slow it down, and I'll show the image right here, you see Stevie right there next to Ray while he's like really thinking about like maybe like all this PTSD is coming back to him. And I think, I'm not sure if it's confirmed, but I think Stevie actually works at the bar with Ray. And you can barely see it. It's out of focus, but there's that necklace around her neck. And I'm going to point that out later on in this movie too. So if you like this kind of video, if you like these breakdowns, please smash that like button. It really helps out the video, and I'll make more videos like this of trailer breakdowns. And subscribe to my channel because I put out content like this every single day. We got Ray getting involved as like a helper here, and is it going to have a bigger tie-in to the original? Is Julie and Ray going to have like more connections than we think? I'm hoping so. I really do. I hope we do get a little bit more connections here. And then if you slow it down, you see like all this evidence. It looks like a police officer or somebody, maybe a mayor. It almost looks like a man's hand. Maybe the mayor or the police officer is going through old news articles of, the killings, and it looks like they're really emphasizing like Helen Shivers' character, which is Sarah Michelle Gellar, which she was seen on set, but they're saying she wasn't in this, but she was in Do Revenge, so she's friends with the director. So I think there's going to be a big tie-in with her character. Did she actually die? We didn't really see it. A lot of people said that like those bodies don't look like their bodies that was in the fisherman's boat at the end of that movie. Is there a way that she could come back? I hope they don't go supernatural route like they did with I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. I think that's really shooting themselves in the foot. But if there's like tie-ins with like the family and connections and stuff like that, and maybe the killer's mad about that. But it looks like they are emphasizing on that. But so Eva, she goes and gets guidance from Julie James, which is Jennifer Love Hewitt's character. That's who brings her in. And I think this is really our final girl that they're trying to build up. So I think like the Madeline Klein's character is actually just it's going to do like a switcheroo, like maybe she gets killed halfway through. I could be wrong about that because I do have another theory that I am going to share with y'all by the end of this video. But that's how she brings in Julie James. So the police officer or mayor or whoever this is looking at old documents and news articles of Helen Shivers' character and what happened years ago. And then it looks like this is going to be our final girl, which is Ava, which was supposed to be Camila Mendez's character, I believe, before she dropped out. Also was in Do Revenge. Go watch that if you want to know more like the style of directing and tone that this movie might take more upon. But she goes to see Julie James, which looks like she's like an instructor or somebody that works at some college or something. Yet the fisherman at that hardware store with all the mannequins and everything, that same location that Helen Shivers' like family owned or her sister got killed at, and it looks like they're going to have like familiar locations. And that's one thing that I do like about this that I wish Scream 4 and Scream 5 kind of took upon, was that we got to see familiar locations. I know in Scream 4 we had the school, but it wasn't the exact same school. It was in a different school, a different town, everything. It was just called Woodsboro. And then in the 5th one we had the Stu Macher house, but that was definitely a set that didn't feel like the real Stu Macher house in my opinion. But this one, it looks like they're using actual real locations that look almost identical, if not the place. I don't think it is because the filming locations are different in this one. I could be wrong about that. Let me know in the comment section. But I think this is like filmed in Sydney, Australia or something. A lot of these shots are. But it looks like we got a similar chase with all these mannequins and everything. And she goes up the elevator shaft again. And it looks like it's one of the characters, like a blonde hair character that looks like wasn't part of the main group. It just seems like probably just a close friend. And then we also get like, this is the part where like Helen Shivers' character, I keep calling her Helen Shivers because I just think that's her type of character, is it is in the same location where it looks like the whole like seashell and thing happened with Helen Shivers' character. Like I don't know if this is the actual location of where that is, or if this is like it looks like this is more like a storage room, and this is where they keep it for the parade and all that kind of stuff. But it looks like the killer like stops and ponders upon this, you know, for a moment before looking back at the camera, trying to find her underneath that stuff, and it looks like we're gonna have a really good chase scene, so it's gonna be a lot of homages to that. But okay, so it, you know, like tagline is Karma's a killer. Then we see Teddy on the ground crawling for his life, and with the fisherman like approaching him, this is outside and he's really banged up. Is the about to get killed right here, or is this or is the killer gonna just like bypass him and leave him for dead? Because it will definitely, because he's definitely like the Freddie Prinze Jr. I mean, not Freddie Prinze Jr., but Ron Felipe's character in this, Barry. He's really that character, so he would definitely die in a different way. But then we transition to daytime, and it looks like Ray is like to the rescue once again on like a small raft boat, going to this yacht where we see Ava, the character right there in the red and in the white, and it looks like she's like waiting for help. And when he gets up there, there's another scene here. I'm going to go back to it in just a minute, but it looks like they're like I think this might be the finale where he comes to the yacht, and that'd be kind of weird to have like a finale in the daytime, like out there like that. That's different than like at night and what we got in the original, because the whole thing on the boat was at night, so this time it could be during the day. But I think there's a little switch there, because he's really reminded me of Dewey's character in Scream 5, and I'm wondering if he's about to bite the dust, because he's coming to, you know, to save the day. Ray's there to save the day or whatever. I think even Brandy said that in the I Still Know What You Did Last Summer movie, something to that effect. But I could be completely wrong. It could take place at Ray's restaurant again. You know, they could be going back and forth. And but we got our characters, and they're like in this underground, I don't know what this is here. I'm trying to figure it out. It looks almost like a wine cellar or something. Is this where the killer like keeps like a lot of stuff? Is this below, you know, the Helen Shivers thing? But it looks like the pavement is all brick and everything. It looks pretty nice for what it is, but it looks like it could be a wine cellar there in the background. But they're all gathered there. But okay, I'm gonna slow this down because I really want y'all to see this right here. You see the character that I was talking about earlier, and she's holding her necklace, Stevie, and she looks really mean. You know, she's looking like this necklace means something, and I'm wondering if this is the scene where she's revealing that she's the killer, and she's going to give all her reasoning and motive and everything.
Understanding. He didn't do anything.
You're such a little lapdog. He's got killer printed all over his forehead.
And maybe that's where we learn that like they accidentally killed her fiance, and that's going to be almost like taken away from Urban Legend, because that was like the motive behind Rebecca Gayhart's character in Urban Legend, was that they were doing a prank. They were doing the high beam initiation thing, and it ended up making this guy wreck, and he died, and that was their secret. And but come to find out, that was her best friend's fiance, and they were going to get married. And I wonder if they're going to like do that. It is kind of like taken away from I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend a little bit, but I wonder if that they were like, with them causing the wreck, that's what happened. There could be two killers, which I hope there is. I hope they do something like that, like in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But then you see that same character that was getting chased with the boots and everything, the blonde-haired girl. It looks like, I thought this was Ray's diner, but this might actually be that store that the Helen Shivers character's family owns, and it looks like a trap, like Ava's character gets like trapped in this cage that comes down, which is kind of cool. But I wonder if this is a fake out right here. Okay, I was talking with my good buddy last night, Marcus, over at Shot Him 6 Times. Go subscribe to him because he's got great content and he breaks down this stuff too. And he opened my eyes to this that like this could be just like a setup to kind of get her away, and then like the fisherman or fisherwoman comes after the other girl, and but this is really like just like a trick, you know, like but she's actually the other killer, and we're gonna get into that here in a minute. And I know this is very lengthy, and I really appreciate your time. Please smash that like button and like this video, and subscribe to the channel, because I really love I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream, and 90s slashers is my jam. So hang around for a little bit. But then we transition. Here we're running through a graveyard, and we saw earlier that Helen Shivers and her sister's grave were side by side in one of those images, but now we're going back into a graveyard where it looks like the chase is happening from the fisherman or fisherwoman, and I wonder if they're going to end up at Helen Shivers' grave, and that's where we're going to learn a little bit of that motive of why the killer's doing this as well. So it could be a combination of both, you know what I mean? But this one image really puzzles me with the guy. It looks like he's wearing like a white or a light blue button-up shirt with some really nice clothes. And he's like in front of this glass mirror. Looks like it's got like I almost thought, I don't know if this is a church or what this is here, but it looks like he's about to do something. I don't know if he's about to like take his own life or if this is a trap. Gives me Jigsaw vibes from Saw. Which is kind of cool if that's the route that the fisherman is taking, is a little bit from Jigsaw as well, because we saw that cage come down like a trap, you know, like they're in like a mouse trap or some shit, and I think that's kind of cool, you know, like if this killer's like kind of taking homages from a lot of different like big horror IPs, you know, and then we get the gun with Ray pointing it. It looks like he's like sitting there and he's like pointing at somebody, and it could be the killer or it could be somebody that they might suspect is the killer, but you got Ava's character right behind him, and I wonder if this is the switch of where Ava could be possibly the killer. You know, it could be Stevie's like my first pick, but Ava is like my second pick, just because of some of these shots. It looks like she could be like built up to be a final girl, but she might have a bigger secret. And then we see also like right after that, like this could be the part where she's like behind Ray, but then she like sticks him with the hook or a knife or something like that, and we might be saying goodbye to Ray right here, and that's what happens, you know. But then it looks like we end up back at Ray's bar, you know. It looks like we end up back at Ray's bar, and we got Julie James that shows up, and I was trying to zoom in, and it looks like Ava's mouth is bleeding a little bit. I don't see any other wounds on her, but she looks like she's down on the floor, and Julie comes to her aid and is like, "Are you okay? I'm here," you know. And it looks like her mouth is messed up, but nothing else. But why would she just be there? It looks like she's like bait, or is she baiting Julie James this time? And then after this, you immediately see Teddy punch the fisherman in the mouth in costume. You know what I'm saying? Could this be where Ava got her bloody mouth from? Like that's how it's like a giveaway. It's like, because we do see that Teddy does punch the fisherman or fisherwoman. We all think it's a man, and it looks like a woman's build even right here compared to Teddy's, and he like punches the fisherman and pushes him up against the wall, but then you see right in the background somebody standing there, a silhouette of somebody just standing there. Is that our second killer? Possibly. It could be our other killer, and that might be how they get the upper hand on Teddy, because he is supposed to be more athletic and be the jocks type, you know. But if you really look at it, every shot that I've seen of this, it looks like it's like just still in the same place, even from the first trailer and this one. So I'm wondering if that's just a mannequin, like, you know, from Helen Shivers. Like, you know, there's a lot of mannequins in that. I keep calling it Helen Shivers because that's the most name I know for that store. I don't know the actual name of the store, but there's a lot of mannequins there. So I wonder if they have like mannequins down there, or could it be somebody that they killed, that the fisherman's killed and kept them down there, or could this be a second killer? We really don't know. I mean, but it does seem like it's very, very still instead of just like moving or anything. But I do also want to point out that we do immediately after that, it looks like we're back at Ray's bar again, and you see Julie James looking up at somebody. So they got to be, it looks like they probably are a little bit taller, unless they're coming down the stairs of something or standing on something. And she says, you know, "What are you waiting for?" She says it in that tone, but if you look at some of the other TV spots, she yells it, "What are you waiting for?" And it looks like she's in that same exact scene.
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
I know what you
did last summer.
So I know it's an homage to the original, you know, and it's playing on that. But with her saying it in two different ways, you know, I wonder which one they're actually going to use in the movie. Could she be looking up at Ray right there? Could Ray be actually a killer? He looks like he's coming to save the day, but he turns around and points the gun at Ava's character and then takes her back to his shop, you know? Or is it Ava and somebody else? Could Ben Willis from the original not have died and I Still Know Jealous somewhere whenever he got shot? You know, we didn't really see him die, and he did fall into a grave. That was kind of like a grave site. So could this be the reveal of Ava being the killer and Ben Willis being back, and that's just been hidden this entire time? And or I even thought about this. I thought about this originally with her saying, "What are you waiting for?" Wouldn't it be sweet if they never even use either one of these, and like the whole thing has happened, and like this is the movie that, you know, Julie and Ray has reconnected, and Ray still cares about her, and they kind of like, you know, they rekindle their spark or whatever, and she doesn't. This isn't even talking to one of the killers. What if this is the aftermath, and they've already taken out the killer, and then or killers, and like Ray. You know, like there's always been like this like pressure of him always like giving her a kiss or like sealing the deal, and maybe she just says, "What are you waiting for?" And maybe that's where they kiss at the very end. They don't even. She's not even talking to a killer here, or Ray could be the killer. There's a lot of different scenarios that they could do right here, but they're definitely toying with us with all the different type of shots and everything. First off, I want to know what you think. Stevie is my first choice. For sure. I think there are going to be two killers. I think that would be smart to do. And there's speculation that Sarah Michelle Gellar is in this movie. The director does want to bring her in this. Just how do you make it make sense unless it's a flashback or something? I hope they don't do supernatural route or anything like that. But I do think that her character is going to play a big plot point in the movie. And I think that we're going to say goodbye to Julie or Ray, or even possibly both of them. I hope not both of them, but Ray could be possibly the killer. I really don't want them to go that route. I really don't. But I also don't want him to die either. So I don't know which way I really want this to play out. I just want it to feel fresh, feel smart. I hope I'm wrong about all this, because I want to be surprised in a whodunit. But I see a lot of similarities to I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, and Urban Legend. And if they steal that motive plot point from Urban Legend, from what Rebecca Gayhart's character, the reason why her motive of killing is because you killed my fiance or whoever. That's gonna be too much on the nose, and I think it's too for us that grew up with these movies. I think that's too obvious. So I hope they have like a second motive for the second killer or something completely different. I just want to be surprised. I'm gonna have my ass in that seat on July 18th. I'm gonna have a review out right out of the theater review. So stick around, subscribe to Destination Station, be a part of the conversation. We're gonna do some live streams about this and break it down some more. I love your faces. If anything else comes out about I Know What You Did Last Summer, you can expect to see it here on Destination Station. And I'll see you later, and I'll see you on another time. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.